There was once upon a time 3 frogs who loved to sing their frog songs and hop from lily pad to lily pad on their pond. One day they were hopping across a green field when they fell suddenly into a deep, deep well. They looked up and the top was so high. But the first frog valiantly began to jump with all his might. He jumped and he jumped, to no avail. Then 2 little frogs appeared at the top of the well and peered down, way down, down, and saw these 3 frogs and said, "Don't bother jumping. You'll never get out. It's impossible." Well, that first little frog made a few more big jumps before he fell exhausted. The second frog, with fresh strength, took his turn to make the jumps. And he jumped with such vigour. But alas, those 2 frogs from above, they called down, "Don't waste your energy, you'll never make it." And so the second little frog, well, he took a few more half-hearted jumps and then fell exhausted next to the first frog. The third frog took his turn, and he was quite determined. He began to jump surprisingly high, and he kept up his vigour, and then suddenly he felt this powerful strength in his limbs. He was so determined. He made some giant jumps, not quite to the top. He took a breath and paused. The 2 frogs above called, "Don't bother, don't waste your time." But the third little frog began again. He jumped and he jumped. And then with one almighty spring, he reached the top and sat at the top, catching his breath. Well, the 2 little frogs at the top said, How did you do that? How did you do that?" But that third little frog just hopped away. And I'm guessing you might wonder how he did it. But we will never know, because the third little frog was deaf.